Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 is a third-person action game set in the dark future of the 41st millennium, and just happens to be one of the hottest games out right now. Is your current rig ready to take a chain sword through waves of enemies? Since this game doesn't support frame generation or ray tracing, the VRAM usages are pretty minimal. At 900p lowest quality settings, we're coming in at just under 4GB of VRAM, which is a pretty good sign if you have an older card and are looking to play this game. The VRAM does increase to about 5.5 gigs at 4K, which, if you're looking to game at 4K, is probably less than your GPU actually has. Bumping up the settings to Ultra, and at 900p we are a little over 6GB, with 4K Ultra coming in just under 8GB. So 4GB at low and 8GB on high. This game on consoles does support a 30fps and 60fps mode, so checking out the 1080p performance, we can see that the RTX 3050 does deliver a very console-like experience at 37.7 FPS. This also means that the Intel line of gaming cards also plays pretty well at 55 and 49 FPS respectively, and even older cards such as the RX 5700 XT bringing in 53 FPS. A 60 FPS experience is also easily achievable if you have a modern GPU, with an RX 7600 and RTX 4060 both delivering above 60 FPS. Last generation's high-end cards, the RTX 3080 and RX 6900 XT, both deliver over 100 FPS. And the fastest card available, the RTX 4090, delivers 149 FPS, followed very closely by the RX 7900 XTX at 147.9. Jumping up to 1440p does shake up the charts a little bit, with the number of 100 FPS cards reducing down to 5. The RTX 4090, which was CPU limited at 1080p, doesn't change all that much, but all the other flagships go down by roughly 30 FPS, with the RX 7900 XT and RTX 4070 Ti now no longer able to maintain above 100 FPS. The barrier for 60 FPS has now increased to the RTX 3070 Ti and RX 6800, and the minimum 30 FPS experience is the RX 6600. Bumping the resolution to 4K though is finally too much for the entry-level cards, eliminates both the Intel cards, and pushes the RX 6800 and RTX 3070 Ti from 60 FPS experiences to 30 FPS experiences. And really only 4 cards can reliably produce 60 FPS at 4K, with the requirement being an RTX 4080. But if you are willing to use DLSS or FSR, you should be able to get a playable experience on most hardware.